100K and you're ready to move forward at that today.
Absolutely. A lot of people, in my opinion, should not be wholesaling.
And this goes back to just being a quality fucking person, doing quality business, guys. Just be a good person.
Exactly. Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of The Deal Room. My name is Matt Walton, here with my co-host Eva. Eva, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited about this podcast.
Yes.
We talked about it for a little while now, and we're excited to get it going here. This is the first episode we're going to record with us two. Obviously get to know each other, and we know each other a little bit, but to have the audience know us a little bit from where we're at, we'll start getting guests on here, talk about what this podcast is about and why you should watch it.
Yeah.
Cool. So first off, we've been talking about how big of a deal you are in the wholesale space that people need to know and that they don't already know. Not only do you have a massive following on TikTok, you have a #1 seller on Amazon called On Market Secrets, a book that you wrote. You have a CRM that you are helping people crush deals with through AI called Wholetech. On top of that, doing your own wholesaling at the same time. Is there anything else I'm missing on that?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm sure as we talk, more golden nuggets will come out of it. I don't think I'm that big of a deal, but you guys are always telling me like it's not that common
Not.
for the things that I've done to have
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know. Let's just keep going.
Yeah. So how long have you been wholesaling?
5 years now, but my dad, I come from a very interesting background. I think, honestly, I don't think it's that interesting. This is just me being on that point again where I don't think anything special. Where, obviously I grew up poor. My parents, they did their best, blah, blah, blah. But both my parents are felons, so they can't get normal jobs or things like that. I think eventually my mom got it situated somehow where she's fine because she just got the aftermath of my dad. That my dad's the real criminal here, but he's better now. He's good. But being that he spent about 12 years in prison, maybe more, give or take. But when he got out of prison, obviously, 12 years is a really long time to be in prison. One, the world has completely changed. Two, being a felon, you can't really get a job. So my dad became a bird dog. So he was working with I think 1 or 2 very specific investors and 1 agent, and he would go knocking on doors, get the deals, but then he was also a contractor. So then he would also fix the houses as well. So when he got right out of prison, he had his little truck and I was in the truck all summer long on my little sidekick, just going with him all day, knocking on doors. I had the sidekick and that was my first experience, but I didn't know it then, obviously. So about 5 years ago, I fell back into wholesaling real estate and I realized oh wait, I actually know what this is.
Yeah, I've been doing this.
Yeah. I did this as a teenager.
Right. But you saw, whether you knew what was going on or not, you saw the hustle.
Yeah. But that's kind of what you see when you come from a family like that is pretty much everything's a hustle. I think my mom is the only one who eventually had a regular job. She ended up working for the state for a while. She worked at some sunglass factory. I don't even remember what else she did, but normal jobs.
But I think that's awesome. Obviously, your dad got to work. Whatever circumstances that happened in his life, he, decided when he came out of it. Because I've seen that where, obviously, if you're a felon, you can't get anything. And then if you're on parole too at the same time, it's oh my gosh,
It's really unfortunate for them because to be in jail for 10 years, obviously the world completely changes. So when you come out, it's really shocking when you come out. And then you're trying to get into the workforce and then they know you went to jail and then they know you were in jail for 10 years. So it's then they don't want to help you. It's so they put you in jail for you to learn your lesson for doing the bad things that you did. But then they release you and you really don't have a fighting chance out there to get your life straight. And that's why so many of them fall back into what they fall into. But my dad's stuck with wholesaling. He still wholesales now.
Really? That's awesome. Is he an employee of yours or he got his own business?
My dad and I aren't that close. I love my dad, but he does his own thing. Every time I talk to him, though, he's got something new that he's learning that he's when I do talk to my dad, we talk once every 2 months or so. Mm-hmm. We'll be on the phone for 2-3 hours and he'll just be my brain about something new that he learned from one of the other guys out here in the industry. So he is basically my news broadcaster for a good 2 hours every 2 months.
Yeah.
That tells me all the things that are happening in the industry that I haven't figured out because I've just been here with my head down.
Yeah, just getting to work. Absolutely. That's awesome. That's good. That's easier. He's your current events.
Yeah.
Keeping you up to date on everything. So, how much have you closed in wholesaling? Do you know? Do you keep track of that?
Dollar-wise, I don't know. I'd have to look, but I know that we've done over 300 deals at this point.
Wow.
In the last 5.
That's awesome. Yeah, for us over here, we started over in my market in Hampton Roads. When I first found out what wholesaling was, I was working, I don't know how many jobs it was at this point, because I was always that guy. It was like, this next job will be it. Like the other job sucked, this next job will be it. I'm gonna try my best, and then I get into it. And I'm like, this sucks. I hate working for somebody. I'm tired of my manager. And I found out what wholesaling was. I'd heard about it, but the guy Paul McComas, who passed away, he'd be big on
Yeah.
TikTok. I saw his and he kept talking about it. And he was like, all right, I get this sale and my average deal I get is $10,000, $15,000 or whatever. I'm like, all right, I'm sitting in the sales job right now. And if I get a deal after I work really hard, they give me $1,000. And I was like, I'd rather have
Like, it's
10,000.
not
Yeah.
not as good.
So then I was like, all right, I'm going to try this out. And so I ended up buying like whatever little course he had. It was like $2,500. It was not a great course at all. And the way he did things was not scalable. I found that out very quickly because he would go to Facebook groups and he would put in the Facebook groups, like in like yard sale groups, and he would put in like a post and says like, I'm looking for houses that need work. And you just do that a bunch of times through these yard sale groups. And that's
Uh,
how he'd get his leads. But you quickly get blocked and you quickly get labeled as spam and you get kicked off Facebook. And like he had like 5 different Facebook accounts he would go with. And I was like, I'm not doing all that. That's by the time that runs out,
he
it's
was
ridiculous.
really hustling.
He was hustling and it worked. Don't get me wrong. I got 3 deals in a matter of a month
That's
and
dope.
it was great. And, we closed those. I think I made 25 grand. The first deal closed, I quit my job. I was like, I'm done. I'm out of here. Because I was like, yeah, I just did this deal and it just brought me in $15,000. I'm never coming back to a regular job ever again.
See, that's the problem though, is a lot of people get into that and then they have like that quick success and then
Mm,
like for some reason, somehow, some way they slow their momentum
I
and
did.
then they have that dip. So you experienced that.
Oh yeah, I did. We were very fortunate because it was right when COVID happened. We had our house. We were living in our house, and money was tight at that point. And so we had our son. Our son was about 2 years old, and I was like, yeah, I got to figure something else out. I was the type of guy who did everything though. I tried drop shipping. I tried stock trading. I tried everything. Like I was like, I'm gonna find something to get me out of these jobs.
Yeah.
And so the wholesaling came, and at the time that we had started to get deals done, we had sold our house because it happened like within the exact day we were living in for 2 years. We sold our house, and I made 100 grand off our house.
Nice.
That's how much our house went up, like in 2 years because of COVID, that big boom that happened.
Yeah.
So we sold the house. Our plan was to travel around in an RV for a while, and pretty much we just traveled around Florida and then got pregnant and came right back home. And so we did that, but while we were doing that, I was wholesaling. You're right. I got those 3 deals done like immediately. We made 25,000, 27. It was like $27,000, something like that. And we were traveling at the time, and I had nothing. It was probably we closed our last deal in like June-ish, and I hadn't had a deal since then. And I joined Jamil's group because I was like, this way I'm doing it is not scalable. It's gonna run out. And
Yeah.
so throughout June to about August, September, I just like studied on what Jamil was doing.
Yeah.
And then when we got back over here, I just hit the phones. I talked about this. I had a whole case of blank CDs. You know those big cases, 100 CDs in it. I would pull all the CDs out, and I would just make a call and put the CD over onto it. And I just did that until I hit 100 calls every single day, and it would fill up.
Oh, so that you would use that as your counting mechanism.
Yeah, yes, that was the
I
way I
was
would
like,
do it.
at first, I was like, "Are you recording these calls with the CDs? Like, that's
Yeah,
so old
just
school. What are you
burning
doing?"
CDs
Yeah.
on each call.
I was
Yeah,
like, "You're burning the calls on those CDs. What are
yeah.
we in the 90s?"
That would be very inefficient and that'd be terrible. I'd have just a stack of CDs with one call on it. No, that was how I count on my calls. And then I had like what's the free CRM that everyone uses? Starts with a P, I think. Podio, yes. I had Podio. And I'm awful at CRMs. Like I am very bad at keeping track of CRMs of how I need to like how the deals move through and follow up and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started hitting the phones in September. I started hitting them. I had a deal locked up for $25,000 within a couple weeks. It was what you should do is follow up. It happened to be a follow up. They came out of contract and they found a bunch of termite issues, so they thought the house was just awful. And I got it under contract so cheap, and then resold it back for 25 grand. And then from there, just built for the next 4 years.
That's dope. So how many have you done in that time span?
I don't know exactly how many deals I've done. I know that we crossed over $1 million in assignment fees earlier this year.
Yeah.
So it's been slow, steady growth up until the point of now. Now I think this year so far we've done over 500,000 this year.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was like first year 80K, second year 160 or 170, third year 330, and now this year we're over 500, and hopefully close over 600,000 this year.
That's fucking
So
awesome.
just slow growth.
Sorry, we're gonna cuss on this one. Sorry, guys.
All right. Yeah.
Just pre-warning, episode 1, warning put out there. Eva's got a sailor
Explicit.
mouth.
Yep. Yep. Explicit warnings here. Sorry.
So we kind of have like a similar story
Mm-hmm.
because I started around 2020 as well when COVID happened because I had a marketing agency. I was marketing for real estate agents, just like it was a very generic post for them on Facebook or doing like little generic ads, like nothing crazy. And I had them for years. And it was just like something that happened that I had as like a side hustle for a while. And then when COVID happened, of course, all the agents freaked out. They couldn't, because especially all my agents were in California. So the rules were like real strict.
Yeah.
So they all like were like, we can't afford to pay for this anymore. And it was like, they were paying me like $600 a month each. It was like not even anything crazy. So then they were like, okay, we can't afford this. We fire you. So that was like business number 1 was gone in 2020. But I also flipped iPhones overseas, but all the stores closed. So you couldn't buy iPhones to mail. And then because of all the COVID shit, there was like problems with mailing stuff overseas. So then like you couldn't get your product over there. So everything died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like March 13th happened. And the reason I remember it was March 13th is because I met Sochi for coffee. And that's when I got a text that Disney decided they were closing. And I was like, if Disney's closing, it's serious because Disney never closes.
Right.
And then we had plans. I had everything booked to take my niece to Disney for her birthday. The whole family was going. So everybody in the family chat was like, Disney's closing. And that's when I was like, crap. And then like shortly after that, it was a domino effect. Everything started closing. Those 2 businesses I had were gone. And then I was like, well, what am I going to do? And then I started wholesaling, found out about wholesaling again, started wholesaling. Right after I started having success in wholesaling, I also bought an RV
Nice.
and did the whole RV thing. But we went from Cali all the way to Florida, all the way up to Maine, back to Florida, and then I stayed in Florida.
Wow. You did a lot more RVing than we did. No, we just
It was for 11 months, yeah.
we went Virginia down to Florida and right back up to Virginia because we got found out we had another baby.
We didn't have no babies.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny you said March 13th because that was about the day because my son was born March 8th, 2020. And so we were good. We missed the COVID like baby thing where you're like in the hospital stuck where you couldn't visit. And as soon as we got out, lockdown happened. All right.
Dang, you guys barely missed it. That's nice. Because I think they weren't even letting dads in the delivery room.
Right. Yeah, a bunch of stuff. So we got very lucky with that. And then it was nice because we got to hang out, obviously just sit at home and be with our child and stuff like that for the most part, which is great. But yeah, that started everything where I was like, all right, well, I'm a dad and I got to give some money because there is no way I'm going to be poor with a kid. So we had to go. All right. So tell me about a whole tech here. Now you got a whole tech running. I've seen the CRM. It's crazy what it can do. Give a little background.
Well, so whole tech is basically a sample version of the capabilities of what AI can do, period. So whole tech, when I say it's a sample version, it's basically built around the niche of working on market with agents and AI. And so the AI negotiates our deals, he moves the files around, but you could technically do that with any niche, any method. We have a bigger brand called Hey Techie. And that's where you can build out any kind of AI you want and put it into any GHL account and build out any funnels or any pipelines or anything like someone who's like a higher level. That's what they want. And that's what they want to build out. The capabilities of AI is like insane. Like
Yes.
what we're doing seems like a big deal, but I am so preschool elementary in the space that it's like it looks like a big deal, and it is a big deal for us in the CRM. But what other people are doing with AI, we're not even on the radar. But whole tech it is built out on the niche for agents and on market. So we have leads feed in there, which is basically like your Privy, PropStream, PropWire, something like that. You just click a little rocket ship, it instantly adds it to your CRM. Depending on what math automations you have, the math will either auto-populate or you'll have to put in the ARV and then it'll auto do the calculation or whatever you want to do. I have it where it auto does the math based on the listing price and then it moves it over to sending offer where it sends basically like a letter of intent email and then a text message that lets them know that we sent that email. And then when they respond, the AI takes over at that point.
Okay. No communication up front. You're just like, here's my offer, and then let's talk about it.
Because these are business to business conversations with these agents. Like they don't want me to ask them if the sky is blue. Like I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're like, I have a house to sell. Do you want it or not? I'm like, I want to buy your house for cash. Do you want my offer or not?
Yeah.
Like, let's just get to business.
Right.
And so I just straight send them an offer and start the relationship like that. And then the AI will negotiate the whole thing. He has the whole conversation. He negotiates everything. He's hilarious. Our team was running a test yesterday. And he knows, because of the way that we built him, and this is probably a little advanced for some people who are watching us, but there are certain custom fields inside of GHL that you can create, and the AI can read those custom fields, and one of those custom fields would be the notes section. So when you add a property from leads feed, all the notes from the agent remarks like that fills into that space.
Mm-hmm.
So he can grab that information and use it in his debate, conversation, negotiation, whatever you want to call it. And so the agent put inside of their description, cute little brick house or something like that. And so the agent was like, what property are you discussing? Like, why is your offer so low or whatever, right? They were upset. And the AI is like, I'm just talking about that cute little brick house you have. I'm blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, the AI can't see any images. Like, where the heck is he seeing a cute little brick house? Like, where did he get this information? But we later found out he pulled it from the notes. But the conversation is hilarious. And the way that the agent is talking, this agent has to be like Gen Z or millennial. Like, they can't be older than that because of the way that they're talking. So the AI adapted to the same tone as them. And so he was putting things like nah, like NAH, nah. And I was like, I was dying laughing because I was like, oh my God, where is he getting this from? But as you read in the conversation, at some point, the agent also says nah. And so he's like, nah, I'm talking about that cute little brick house.
That's so smart. That's awesome, though. I mean, that's way better than it being just robotic about it. Are you guys pulling this from like ChatGPT? Is that where the actual conversation bot is coming from?
So OpenAI, yeah, because OpenAI is the creator of ChatGPT. So we build assistants in OpenAI, and the data goes loop-de-loop from OpenAI to our Hey Techie program, which is where the webhook and you add additional build-outs to the bot. In the Hey Techie program, you can do like create goals or tasks. So if the agent says this or that, tag it this. If the agent gives you a different name or phone number, fix the name and phone number and re-put the file back into sending offer. Like, you can tell him goals or tasks that you want him to do based on the conversation. So it goes from GHL, they send a text message, it shoots up to Hey Techie. Hey Techie shoots it to OpenAI. OpenAI shoots it all back, and the response comes back in GHL. It gets real technical.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's you're teaching me something here because we're working on a product that we're going to release here. I'm about to test it today for the next couple weeks of us, where it's going to be a direct to seller bot, which I do mostly agent outreach. I think that voice bots for agent outreach is a little bit away. I don't think we're there just yet because you have to build a connection with agents on that. But with sellers, I've downloaded a huge list of sellers. I'm going to have the bot call it and have a conversation with the sellers to qualify them, and then get them basically I want to just open up my CRM and there's a bunch of leads that are qualified to just call and close. And so that's the goal. And we have that along with the text bot that happens where if the person wants a text, then it handles those texts also. So it'd be in conjunction together where it works together to get the lead over to you. So you just taught me something about the text bot and being a little bit more friendly, which is great because I was worried about that of being like too robotic and sounding not like a human but a bot. So yeah.
No, you can get them. It's all in your prompting. So for us, we have the prompt, which is the back end and the main controller, and then we have FAQs. So based on his responses, we can adjust the FAQs to help him sound a little bit better, but his main tone comes from the prompt.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to we're gonna do some testing. We'll see how it goes over this next 2 weeks, and then we'll look on bring on some beta testers, and then hopefully go live, and we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to see. So you said, like me, you do on market deals.
Yes.
But I thought on market deals suck, and everyone's already seen them before, and you can't get any good deals off the MLS. Everyone's already done that, right?
And agents hate wholesalers.
Yeah.
What other myth do you want to bust?
I know. Well, that's what you hear all the time, right?
That's what you hear, but that's not true. Agents don't hate wholesalers. They just don't understand. But at the end of the day, like, this is something that I preach till my face is blue and what's in my book. Like, you are not a wholesaler. A wholesaler is not even a real thing. It's something we all kind of made up in the media. The moment you double close, or you double close with a pass through, or you do a wholesale or another strategy just to get the deal done, you are now an investor. Because a wholesaler is just someone, the definition of assigning a contract. So the moment you pick a different method, you're no longer a wholesaler. And I guarantee you, by the time you get to like your fifth, sixth deal, you've done a different method.
Yeah.
Because some shit hit the fan and you had to get creative and figure something else out. Because really, as a wholesaler, your job is putting out fires all day long. Solving problems, putting out fires. That's all you do all day long. And so they just don't really understand, and you're not a wholesaler anyway, so why does it matter? And then haven't all the buyers seen the deals? No, they're fucking busy.
Oh yeah, no,
They're
everything.
flipping a house,
Right.
okay? The house flooded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've got to worry about other things. They're not sitting around scrolling on Zillow like you. Like they haven't seen it. And if they have seen it, they're probably not following up as consistently as you have, because it takes 3 to 7 points of contact for the agent, 1, to remember you, 2, trust you, and 3, to even take your offer serious.
Right. Thank you. That's probably the biggest takeaway out of all of it is how
Mhm.
many people give up before they get to a chance of closing it.
You honestly make an offer knowing that they're going to say no the first 3 times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they'll come back and be like, usually by between contact 4 to 7 is either they come back to you asking if your offer's still good,
Mm-hmm.
or they're finally like, okay, my client's ready to consider your offer.
Yeah. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, the property just came on the market." It's like, I don't care. I'm gonna get rejected whether it's been on the
That
market for
just
10 days.
means that day 1 means that in 7 days or 3 weeks, the answer will be yes.
Yeah. People say that like, "Oh, I can't find any more properties that are 120 days on market." I'm like, I don't care how many days it's been on the market. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna make an offer. They can cuss me out if they want to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow back up into another week anyways.
No, yeah. So we started a challenge this week on my TikTok for everybody. And the challenge is for me to go back to like 2020 version Eva, right? I cleared out my bank account. I only have $19 in this certain bank account. There's all I got. And I did give myself the privilege of whole tech. Okay. So I was like, look, we're going back to 2020 Eva, but we're not going to go back to like cold calling 2020 Eva.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
We know the smarter way to do it now. We're going to do it the smarter way, but go back to like, I have no money, I'm you at this point. So we go on the theory based of I have enough money to invest in whole tech. And then after I invested in whole tech, I have $19 left. And that's the story, the game, the whatever. So on day 1, I cleaned out a whole brand new account. Like, this account's never had anything in it. We don't have any buyers. We don't have nothing. We're brand new. I go out into Orlando, or the Orlando market, if you guys aren't familiar, it's all the way to Stanford, all the way down to Point Siena. Make a big circle between that. That's Orlando. It's like 50 minutes in any direction out. We do that whole area. We get 230 deals that are on market right now. Doesn't matter what day. Day 1 to day 180, 190, whatever. Like, doesn't matter. All of those, we put them in. We send all of those offers out. The AI is negotiating all of them on day 1. By day 3, which is today, or no, yesterday, because we started this on Sunday. So by day 3, yesterday, we had 4 contracts accepted.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I always have to preface this. It doesn't always go like that.
It doesn't always go like that, but for every
Yeah.
100, you should get 1.
Right. Absolutely. I told Matt because my business partner Matt, he worked with me for a little bit to understand the wholesale industry and what we do. So I had him start up in the Richmond market over here where I'm at in Virginia. And I was like, all right, let me show you how to make the calls and how they sound. Third call, I got a deal locked up. We sold it for 15 grand. And I was like, and he was like, this is so easy.
Doesn't always happen like that.
Yeah, it's not that easy. That just happened to work out. But I
It
want to go
does.
back to
I
one.
mean, I
Yeah.
have a guy who joined Holtec in the very, very beginning in 22, and he got 2 deals in 5 days. Like, he's still the record holder. Here we are 3 years later. He's still the record holder. Like, that's how uncommon getting 2 deals in 5 days is.
Right. Yeah. I don't ever want to set that expectation for anybody because it does take work. And sometimes you just get this luck is involved in it also. You just get lucky. You just happen to hit that person at the right time that just ready to sell at the low number you put out there.
But I think it's also like a numbers game. If I'm putting out 230 offers,
Right.
and then I'm having AI negotiate all those offers, like, I'm bound to get at least 1.
Right. Something's got to fall through. You're right.
Yeah. And if it's not, and maybe it won't be by the 3rd day, because the 3rd day was pretty quick. But by the 3rd week of consistently following up with all 230 offers,
Yeah.
something should give.
Absolutely. So I want to go back real quick because you said something that I think is really important, which is you have to go through the shit. You got to go through the fire. You got to put out the fire. You got to understand how to make the deal close, to be creative as you get things going through. Because we've had months where we had 10 deals on the contract, and all 10 of them had title issues. Every single one. And it's just like those suck. And like you have to find certain ways to get stuff done. I've had like 20K fees that got reduced down to 8K and lower. I've had ones where I've taken $0 on the fee just to make sure that the buyer's happy, the seller's happy, the agent's happy, and we keep a relationship going. There's things you have to go through. What a lot of people especially with us when we're selling, we have VA services that we sell. And I can't tell you ever how many times when we put out an ad talking about a VA service, how many people are like, yeah, I'm looking to get a VA. I'm like, oh, cool. How long you been wholesaling? Like, I'm just thinking about it. I want to get into it. I'm like, what are you going to hire a VA to do? Like, what do you, and he's like,
Just thinking about it.
yeah. And
Have
he
you
was like, I want a VA to make the calls. I want a VA to close the deals for me. And then I want to get my money. I'm like, well, first off, how do you plan on leading the team of your VAs through a bunch of crap that you've never been through? And they're like, that's good.
that? Yeah. But
Yeah.
then my first thought is like, no one's ever going to run your business like you're going to run your business because no
Right.
one's ever going to care about it as much as you're going to care about it. And so you're expecting to hire these random ass people in a different country who do not give a shit.
Yeah.
Like they care, but they don't care.
Right.
It's not you. It's not their business.
Yeah, they care if you give them direction. Like if you have a bit, like when you have taken VAs that have not worked out with other clients, brought them into my team, and they've soared because we gave them a purpose and a direction with it. I know how
Yeah.
to lead the team and the process in place. You just fit in the process, do the work, and you make the deals. And I
Yeah.
have to tell people that I'm like, we've turned down a lot of people from hiring VAs. I'm like, I'm not going to waste my VA's time with you, and you're going to sit there and be all upset because they're not running your business for you, which is not what a VA should do. It's your
They're
business.
there to support your business,
They
not
help it
run
grow.
your business.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
It's
they
like
expect us to do the same thing.
you have to go through the shit.
Yes.
You have to at least spend like a couple weeks to a couple months in the shit, doing the shit, and at least get like 2 deals done before you start hiring on people. Because otherwise, you have no idea how to tell someone how to do their job if you've never even done the job.
Yeah. And you have to get your processes down because you have to get replicatable. Is that the word? That's completely wrong, I feel like.
Don't ask me. I don't know English.
Well, that's, it's got to be a repeatable process. I'll just say it that way. To where you can have somebody say, okay, just do this, this, and this, and you get a deal. If you like don't
Yeah.
know and like you happen to stumble across a deal, it's like that could happen sometimes. And the next thing you know, you have no idea to tell someone how to do the same thing or do it yourself the same way. What are you going to tell somebody to do?
This flows into all the famous gurus
Yeah. Yeah.
that preach things they haven't done.
Right. Check out my Lamborghini that somebody else owns behind me.
Yeah, do you want to go get my Lambo? I got a Lambo. I've got 4 Lambos and a 7-car garage in my, 80,000 square foot house.
Right. It said, hey, video before I get kicked out of here. That's what they do.
Yeah, hold on. I only rented this for 3 hours. Let me.
And like, oh, I'll show you how to make $1 million in 90 days. All you got to do is do this.
90
Then you
days.
buy my
90
course.
days.
Yeah.
Generational wealth in 90 days. No problem.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very important. I mean, there's some really good people we've learned from. Jamil is
Yeah.
one we've learned from. Pace is another one. Pace drives a Prius around for the most part. So you don't have to follow him saying those things. You got to be careful with the people who can tell you it's quick money and it's very easy. The concept's simple, but it's not easy.
It can be quick money, and that's why a lot of people do wholesaling first as like an entry into real estate because it's probably the quickest money that you can do in this industry of real estate. All
Without
in
costing
together.
you a bunch of money too at the same time.
Yeah. And then, is it easy? Yes. With the fact that it's simplistic in learning and repeating the same thing over and over, like you were saying earlier. But is it easy in the fact that you're going to get a lot of no's and you're going to get super discouraged and it's going to take longer than you think?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't stay consistent, then it's like you start all over every single time.
Right. Yeah. And the deals are going to fall through and the title issues are going to come up and then the deals are going to get pushed back. And then, yeah, I mean, there's so much crap you have to go through. You're going to get threatened to be
So
sued.
that goes back to you're a firefighter.
Yeah, exactly. You have to go through it and you have to stick with it because if you tell somebody, and a lot of times I get it because most people do things because they want the money, right? If you don't have
Yeah.
other purpose behind it, I feel like you quit as soon as things get hard.
I agree. But I also feel like I don't have like some huge purpose behind what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think when people think of that, they think like they're supposed to have some magical purpose of they do this because I do it for money. And then the money gives me the freedom to do whatever the hell I want. I'm clearly not someone who's going to work for someone else. Like someone would like go fold those clothes ever and I'd be like, I don't even fold my clothes at home. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think I'm not going to do it.
So you say money, but then it also could be the freedom. It's more than the freedom because I'm on the same way too. Like money is just a prize that I get from the work that I do. It's not necessarily anything that I focus on. But if I don't have to tell somebody when I have to clock out or where I have to go or when I have a dentist appointment or if I'm sick and how many sick days do I have and how many vacation days do I have left and all that crap that I have to go through just to be able to be with my family, I don't want to do it. And this
A
gives me
lot
the
of
ability
people
not.
don't have the stamina that it takes to do this though.
Yes.
So like a lot of people have this same mindset that we're talking about right now where we don't want to work for someone else. But I will tell you 90% of my friends still work for someone else. 90% of them I'm like, well, let's go to the Bahamas next week. And they're like, I don't have any more vacation days. And I'm like, your shit sucks, bro.
Yeah. You there?
That's a sad story. Like, why?
Yeah. Well, you'll see
But
my Instagram stories then while I'm there.
yeah, they just, and they tell me that they like admire what I do or that it's inspirational or that they want to do it too, but none of them do it. And like people who follow me will ask me like, well, why don't those people do what you do? I can't force these people to work. I can't make them do what I do. And a lot of people say they want one thing, but then they don't do what it takes or don't have the self-discipline
Yeah.
maybe
Or the
to
ball.
do what it takes.
Or the ball.
Yeah.
Because it's scary going out on your own sometimes, you know. It's you
Yeah.
you can't rely on anybody. And to me, I think the opposite. I think that being in a job should be scarier because your life is in control of somebody else. And if they sit there and say like, "Oh, business closed down," or "I don't need you anymore," you're out, and then you're just, what do? That scares me more than being on my own, you know. And so I think a lot of people think they have this what we call golden handcuffs, where they're like, "All right, well, I'm getting my salary, I'm safe and secure, and I'm good. I don't need to do anything else." And throwing them into entrepreneurship is scary because then they just rattle everything. You know, a lot of people don't understand either in entrepreneurship. When you do it, you're the person that puts everything together to make the business run. And if
Yeah.
you come into a job, everything's together. You just fit yourself in that little spot, and then you do what they tell you to do. But as an
But I think
entrepreneur, you got
the
to start over.
strength in that of putting everything together as the entrepreneur is like you've built a skill set now that if you've done it once, you can do it again.
Right.
So if shit hits the fan, if everything falls apart, you'll figure it out and do it again. It's like you've built such a strong skill set that a lot of the people you're talking about with the golden handcuffs that just fit themselves into this little box don't have.
Right. Absolutely.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
We came from two different backgrounds too, because you came from 9 to 5, and I've never really had a normal 9 to 5 in my entire life. Like in high school, college, maybe a little bit, but none of it lasted longer than a year. Like
Yeah.
I've
I've had
never
too
really
many.
had a job.
Yeah. I've had too many 9 to 5s. I was the type of person that would leave a job every like a year or whatever because I couldn't. I was like, oh, there's something better, and I would just always do that. And I was like, oh, this nothing's
Yeah,
better.
I've always been a hustler like my dad. So like right out of high school, I like made like a tutu company. I was making tutus for babies.
Wow. There you go.
After that, it was bedazzled bras for grandmas.
Dazzle ball. Okay. All right. Well, I'm surprised that one didn't work out.
That one surprised me too. I thought I was doing it for EDM girls and it became for grandmas. I don't know how that happened, but I was
Wow.
like, all right.
That's called a pivot, everybody. That's how you pivot
That's
your business.
the grandmas had the money to pay for it and they wanted it. So I said, all right.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think and a lot of people, when they think of entrepreneurship, and then maybe they see the life that you're living now, and they're like, yeah, I want to do what you do. But they don't realize you left the 9 to 5 and probably worked way more than 40 hours a week for a while.
Well, so I've never really had a 9 to 5, but I definitely work more than anyone who works 9 to 5. Like my friends now, that's like, I do a lot of sacrificing and I have really big dreams for Whole Tech and for what's going on. Like I want to sell Whole Tech I believe that Whole Tech and Hey Techie can be a $285 million valuated company. And I want to sell 51% for, 175 million. And I want that to be like my end goal, cash out, retire plan.
Mm-hmm.
Me having that kind of plan obviously surpasses pretty much everyone that I know besides Jamil and them.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that I spend most of my time with, they understand because I think I've made it kind of clear from the get-go when we became friends, but I miss out on a lot of fun things. So like I haven't seen my friend. I took that whole 3-month vacation or whatever it was. You know about that.
Yeah.
I took like 3 months off. I spent a bunch of time with family and friends. And then since then, I haven't seen anyone. I haven't seen anyone since June.
Mm-hmm.
All my friends and stuff haven't seen me since June. And we are in October.
Well, look, if your friends are watching, this is a confirmation of life. She's okay.
Hi, guys. I missed you. One of them invited me to dinner the other day. And I was like, yeah, let's go. But then shit with business happened. And I said, look, I'm so sorry. I just can't make it. Like, I have to deal with what's going on here. And it's just not feasible to try to make both things happen.
Yeah, you're not going to go into
That's a sacrifice you make.
Yeah, you're not going to go to entrepreneurship and be like, all right, 5 o'clock, I'm out, I'm done.
No, that's not how to be honest, now I'm like that, but it's because I've set certain boundaries. I'm up at 6 a.m. I do all my self-development stuff, like going to the gym, reading my book, meditating first thing in the morning. I get me all aligned and set up. Then I'm working until like probably 6, 7 p.m. every night. And then after that, I go to bed at like 10 because I need my full 8 hours.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just not working.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I have a strict schedule of like how it works. And I do kind of get off at the set time that I say, which is like the 5 o'clock for me. Cause basically I don't really start working until probably 12. So then I work from like 12 to 7.
Yeah, but you built that to that point, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure at the
No, it took
beginning of
me
it, you were
that probably didn't happen until maybe this year that it's that structured, set in stone, and we're at year 5.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you put in, plenty of hours every single week, weekends, nights, everything, just to get to where you need to go. And for me, for my wholesaling business right now, I just focus on how am I gonna grow it. My
Yeah.
team runs the day to day for the most part. Like, I don't know, I have a buyer who's a friend of mine over here in Hampton Roads, and he texts me about a deal. I'm like, "I have no idea what that deal is." He's like, "You guys just send it out to wholesale it." And I was like, I don't
Agents
know."
will call me and they'll be like, "We have this deal," or sometimes they'll find me on Instagram and they'll message me and they're like, "We have this deal," and I'm like, "Let me ask my team."
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea.
No idea what this is.
I'll just answer him like, yeah, pretend like, "Oh, yeah, I know that property." I have no idea what they're talking about. Yeah, he'll ask me like, "What's the deal with this property? What are the details?" Like, I have no idea. You have to reach out to a dispo person. I have no idea what this deal is, which is a great problem to have, I guess. But yeah, it took a while to get to this point. I mean, I still work all the time. I mean, my phone is going off constantly, and I'm having to put out fires, like you said, or answer questions, and especially on the VA side or what we're developing with the AI side. A lot of times when you're building something, it's a lot of hours in that building, and then the goal is to finally get to where you have a team or people in place where you can take over a lot of these things for you, then you can free up your time. But then you probably find something else to do within that time where you have to go back to building something else also. So it's a never ending journey.
It's a never there's like the to-do list for entrepreneurship does not end.
Oh, it
There
does.
is no end to the list. It just goes on, and it's like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
It goes on and on and on.
Right.
It never stops. And I think that you and I are both at the stage now that we're no longer working in the business. We're
Hmm.
just working on the business.
Yep.
Well, I think it switches every now and then because sometimes I'm working in the business.
You
Depends
got to
on
get
what
yourself back in
happened.
it. Yep.
Yeah, but majority I'm working on. Every now and then I got to get in and get dirty. But I think most people who are watching this are probably working in, and they're not at that stage yet. And if they see here, it's taken us multiple years
Yeah.
to get to the working on instead of in.
Yeah, and patience in it too. I mean, I've obviously we've seen people who have exploded and have
Yeah.
first year hit $1 million, and since then they're just growing from there. Mine was a slow, steady growth of learning things and then figuring it out, and then building a team, and then losing part of the team, and then getting it back in up till now where we're doing pretty well, and we're focused on growing to there. But I think if you're in the thick of things right now and you're trying to build this and you're trying to get things going, just be patient on it and just steady, put your head down and do the work. It'll come.
Yeah. Like, Matt, how old are you?
33. I
Okay.
should have
So
asked you how old would you say I am, because my other partner, Matt, he tried to act like I was close to his age, and that was very offensive. He's 43, and I was like, "Don't ever put me where you are right now."
I'm 32.
Okay, yeah.
So I thought you were close to my age.
I would have said you were 26 or 27. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you. It's the Asian.
Yeah. I got a little Japanese in me
Those
too.
good Asian genes.
Which one? What Asian?
A Filipino.
Okay, I got a little Japanese from where I was.
All right.
There you go.
See?
Got
All
a little.
right. Those good Asian genes.
Yeah.
Just keep using that Asian skincare. We'll be young forever.
No skincare routine for me. It's just all in
No,
one.
you gotta use the Asian skincare. Some snail jizz on your face. It's great.
I'll pass.
Oh yeah, I'm serious about that. No, I actually use that.
Snail jizz. It's called snail
It's
jizz.
called snail mucin, but I call it snail jizz. I'm
Yes.
like, this stuff's weird.
It's
But
probably snail jizz. Yeah.
it's probably the best thing I've ever used on my skin. For those of you who are actually taking me serious, go
Don't tell my
look up
wife.
some snail mucin.
All right, I'm gonna tell my wife that
Tell your wife,
I'm
yeah.
sending over some snail jizz to put on your face.
Snail jizz. That's great stuff. Joking, but not joking. I'm serious. But so I think someone had asked me one time when I first started my entrepreneur. Well, I mean, I've been in this my whole life, so I've had different stages of my entrepreneurial journey. And one of the people who was help mentoring me in another company had asked me like, well, what age would it be that you hit, millionaire status or whatever, that you would feel accomplished? And I said, I could do it. If I did it at my 30, I was like in my early 20s at this time. I was like, if I did it at 30, I'd feel good about myself. She was like, so then you've got like 8 years to figure it out. Like, why are you freaking out that you haven't figured it out today? And I thought about it and I was like, if I was a millionaire by 30 at that age, I was like, yeah, why do I care? It's 30. It's like so early in life still to be a millionaire. So I think a lot of people are like, I have to do it tomorrow. And it's just like,
I know.
let's stop, take a step back and really think about it. If you were a millionaire by 30, 40, 50, would that be good enough for you? Would you be happy about being a millionaire or multimillionaire by that age? Yes. Maybe you're a half millionaire, a 500,000aire. Like, that's more than a fucking doctor. Are
Right.
you okay with that?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then what's the rush? Let's just take step by step to get there at that point.
Yeah, just focus on the process of what you're building and what you're doing. If you focus on the outcome of it, you'll be so tied down and so defeated so quickly because there's so many
Yeah.
things that go wrong. I mean, you could have months where you have deals that all your deals just cancel for whatever reason. They get blown up or something happens, and it just happens.
Those are really fun weeks.
Yeah, yeah,
Really fun. I've had like where I got like 5, 6 deals back to back and I was like, yeah, we're crushing it. And then the buyers were like, nope, 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 nope.
yep. Just
And
fall.
they were all crashed, cancel, cancel, cancel. And you like, fuck, I thought I was winning, but then I just had to cancel all these deals. And now I feel like now I've let all these people down, or now I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, or like it's like a kind of like a mind fuck.
It is, and I think that for me, having a team, like what you said about letting people down, that is the scary part for me, the hard part for me. Like if we don't do well, I feel terrible for my people. Like I'm like, for me, like obviously, yeah, I need money for the family and stuff, but like if I don't do well and my business doesn't do well, like I see my people in my business, and if they're struggling, that makes me very sad. So that's
I
something
think
that
it's
I
even
work.
more pressure when it's people who are not your people. Like when it's your wife, your kid, you.
Hmm.
Like I've always said this to like friends and things like that. Like people who are like, oh, I want to join you and whatever. And I'm like, if I fuck up and I fail, that's me. Like I got me, I can figure out me, I can disappoint me, I can bring myself back. But if you come in and I can't pay you or you like, that's a whole
Yeah.
other stress or pressure that like I don't know that I could take on or whatever because I don't want to disappoint you. Disappointing me, like me, in
Yeah.
worst case scenario, I'm broke. I'll figure it out. Like, okay, I can live on the street,
Yeah.
but now it's me and you on the street together.
Yeah. 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 I can't
No,
do that.
I can't do that.
You said, Eva said, bring out the brawls to start bedazzling them.
No, bedazzle the bras for grandma.
Yeah.
Goddammit.
We'll
You and
find a
I
way.
are not sitting on the sidewalk together.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll find a way to get through it. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I want to see my people win. Obviously, I want to see that they're successful on it. And I was like, if I take that personally, if we have a bad month or something like that, I'm like, all right, well, all right, let's get to work. Let's find out how we can help you guys out and build things in. It's hard being a friends and being ingrained into the people that you work for you in their lives. You're like, oh, I really can't let them down. It's also
No,
hard when you have a buyer that you're really good friends with because then they call you and give you an offer on a price and you want to give them a good deal, but also you want to make more money. I told a buyer friend of mine the other day, I was like, I gotta stop being friends with you because I want to make more money out of you.
you're like, I think I've got someone else who wants this property.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a fun thing being an entrepreneur. I think that I'm pretty sure you probably feel the same way, which is we wouldn't change it for the other side in
Yeah,
a heart
no.
ever.
No, I'd never not be an entrepreneur. I couldn't imagine working a regular job. I'd be terrible at it.
Right. Yeah, like no, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, no. They'd be like, yeah, but you need to go fold that towel. I'm like, you're paying me $17 an hour. I just really don't think this is worth it.
Yeah.
Can't be me. Gotta go. Thanks, though. I'm gonna go live on the street until I figure it out.
Right. So you hear a lot of times with wholesaling. I know you talked about being a made up word or whatever, and people just kind of put a tag on you for that and what you do. But we're investors at the same time. When we do certain exit strategies, we change things up. Besides just a signing, I bought a couple of deals now so far too, so we're going into it. But a lot of people, like agents, have a very bad rap about wholesalers, and a lot of them are justified because I've seen wholesalers do some crappy things, and I've heard about terrible things that have happened. But do you think in general it's unethical, or do you feel like there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it like everything else?
I don't think the act of wholesaling itself is unethical at all. But I do believe that there is a certain degree of how you need to conduct yourself in business, period, whether you're wholesaling real estate or selling high ticket coaching or carpets, vacuums, like whatever the hell it is you're doing. There is a certain ethical code that you should conduct, that you should perform, that it's just being a genuinely good human being. If you're going into wholesaling and you're going to tell this person that you're going to wholesale their house, first off, I don't like a lot of YouTube University. And I'm not like a lot of you guys think I'm so nice. Or people will be like, you're so quiet, Eva. I'm a biatch and I am not. And I don't care. Like I have no cares. So when I see these other guru guys with their Lambos and they're telling you, hey, go offer this to sell the seller's house and give them $100 and get them under contract for 3 months and get them in a situation where they think that they're moving and they pack up all their houses and then they start getting all their life together to move. Like that's a big deal for someone to move out of their house and to think that they're selling their house. Their most expensive asset that let's not go down the road that it's not an asset, but they think it's an asset. Society has told them it's an asset. They think it's an asset. They're selling it. They need to sell it for whatever reason. They're packing up their stuff. They're moving. And you've given them $100 EMD.
Mm-hmm.
You've held them on the line for 45 days and you still haven't found a buyer, which if you haven't found a buyer in 5 days of having something under contract, it's not a good deal. Stop
Yes.
pulling those people along. Like, this is where it becomes unethical. You're just doing shady shit that's just wrong, period. No matter what business you are in, it's not being a decent human being to someone else. If someone was doing that to your grandma, you'd be fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And you'd want to fight that person.
Right.
So, like, why are you being the person doing it to the grandma?
Exactly.
This is where it becomes unethical. So I don't think it's unethical to be a wholesaler or to do wholesaling. But when shady people do shady things, that's when it gives wholesalers a bad name.
Yeah, I mean, I've closed so many deals that agents wouldn't be able to close, you
Yeah.
know, and like I've helped people out in general. Yeah, and so it's just you what you said is spot on. I've had too many people do that. I've had like other people I've worked with, and like, oh, just extend the inspection period. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I gave them a certain amount of days, and this is what I need to get done in these certain amount of days. I'm not going to keep stringing these people along. Either the buyer's ready or the buyer's not. And if the buyer's not ready and I don't have anybody else, then I let it go.
Did I cancel?
Yeah, it's not. I'm not
So
gonna.
many I cancel.
Right. Like again, I don't think I don't understand how you can just drag people along. You're right. It's a big deal to people. Like it might not be a big deal to you because it's just another contract. But
Yeah.
this is somebody who is banking on that money for decisions in their life. They're moving their entire family or getting their family ready to move, and you strung them along, and you aren't being communicative, and you're lying about certain things, and they're all banking on the fact that you're going to do what you said you were going to do, and then
Yeah.
you just leave
They
them.
trusted you, and now you fucked up the trust on that. Like, these people are like, you have to put yourself in their shoes. Like, pretend you're them walking around your house, packing up your stuff, putting it in boxes, sealing the box, telling your friends and family that I sold my house, and that they're like getting their lives together to move to that next stage. And you're on the other end of that paperwork, fucking flicking beans and doing dilly daddlies. I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Look at beans, I mean, I was like,
Beans and doing dilly daddlies
uh-huh.
over here. Fucking have no intention in actually like getting this deal to the finish line and getting these people to where they need to be. You're
Right.
just dilly daddling, and they have no idea. They think you're serious on the other end doing what you said you were going to do. And now you're not. And then you're going to let them down, which comes back to not wanting to let people down. And then you just disappoint them. But I think it's not that much pressure because they have no idea who the people are on. Usually they have no idea who the people are on the other side of this paperwork. At least usually I don't, because I never see any of my houses or meet any of the sellers. One, because I work with agents. Two, because I'm virtual. It's really interesting for these ones who go door knocking and meet these people in person or sitting at a table with them, having this discussion. I'm like, now you've built like a real relationship and you fuck these people over. That's insane. Like, I would not, you are not invited to my wedding.
Right. How do you sleep at
You
night?
can't babysit my pig.
Yeah. Hey, how do you sleep on yourself by doing that to people? And like we have a deal under contract, and I met the lady the other day because it's over here where I'm at, and I just having to take pictures for them. And yeah, the lady's like, it's my dad's house. He's selling it. He's about to die. He's dying of cancer. I'm like,
Yeah.
why would I ever screw this person over? You know?
People are going through their own shit. Like, people don't just usually people don't just sell their houses to sell their houses. And if they are just selling their houses to sell their houses, they're usually selling a retail quality house to a retail buyer. It's not usually a wholesale worthy house that a wholesaler is selling to an investor.
Yeah, you have to, understand what you're doing, and you have to really think. A lot of times I think people just think so short term, and they're like, how can I make this money quickly and just get this quick money? But they don't think about the long-term effects of what they're doing. And for me, I try and have my team and everybody focus on the long-term goals and the delayed gratification on things. Like the stuff you're
Yeah.
doing right now might not pay you right now and it might not pay you for the next month, but it will come back to you. And if you treat the people right, and maybe the deal didn't work out, maybe you had to cancel that deal, maybe you made $0 on that deal, because I've made $0 on few deals that I've done because we just got it done for everybody, then that saves a relationship to make more money. Just you have to think like, yes, I could screw this person over right now and I can make $10,000. You can make $20,000 if you screw this person over. But that person could have led you down a road of making millions of dollars that you cut off because you were so happy about your 10 to 20K right now.
That's really true, because there's a couple of different properties that I've done where I've canceled because I couldn't perform, because either we locked it up too high or whatever the problem was. And so I tell them, like, look, I can't close on this. It's not going to work numbers wise. If it was to work numbers wise, this is actually where we would need to be. And I honestly respect you and the seller and assume that they're not going to want to go that low.
Yep.
So I totally understand. I think it's best if we just cancel this so that they can get what they're looking for the property. And that's always my line that I go with when I know that I've locked something up too high. More times than not, the numbers are what the numbers are. The math is mathing. And most of the time, most other wholesalers and investors need to be at the same place that you need to be at. So they find that out later on. And because you provided that respect and canceled and didn't hold them up for more than 5 days or whatever, and you were just straight honest with them. I've had plenty of them come back and say, like, look, we went under contract 2 more times. It didn't work out. I know that you said that you actually needed to be at this price. Would you be willing to go under contract again at that price? Like, and we go back under contract at that price. I've had so many deals where that happens.
Right. Yeah, but also you didn't damage that relationship with that agent, and at the same
Yeah.
time, they'll bring you something else. I mean, if they're a good agent, which, as we know, a lot of them aren't, but they're a good agent, they understand how things happen. They weren't counting their commission before it got to the point, and then got mad because they didn't get a commission. I've had agents that get angry about like offers. I'm like, why would you get angry about an offer? It's just an offer. Like, just say no. But if they're a good agent, they understand that these things happen in deals, and that if you build a good enough relationship with them and you do it the right way, they'll come back and say, all right, I have another opportunity for you. Let's see if this one works.
Yeah. A lot of, like, pretty much all the agents that I've worked with come back with something at some point. Not like all the time. Because I work the way that I work, where I'm going direct to agent with properties already listed, it's likely, I call them unicorn agents, it's likely that they'll have another one pretty quickly and they send those to me. But every now and then, those agents don't typically have those properties, so they don't come back to me.
Yep.
And then when they do come back to me, they usually bring me something that's like a pocket listing, which is basically like an off-market listing, which is even better because then I make way more money.
Better, yeah. Yeah, those are great. I've heard people talk about this and which way you should go about it. I reach out to every single agent in our market. Like if you're
Do
in
you?
the markets I'm working in, I've spoken to you as an agent. Like I promise you, you've gotten one text message at least from me. And the reason why is because 70% or so of agents do one or less deals every single year.
Yep.
But that one deal that agent might get might be a good off-market property. So I'll
I
connect with
wonder
everybody.
how like accurate that statistic is, because there's so many agents that I've talked to that are like, oh, this person brought me their house, but I won't list it because I know it's too bad.
Right.
And they just don't know investors. Or like, when I think a lot of these new wholesalers too are like, why would agents work with wholesalers? It's because they're not trained the way that wholesalers are trained. We're trained to be bird dogs for investors. We're trained to look for these crappy properties that investors would want. Agents are trained to write a contract correctly that's legally binding within the laws.
Yeah. And not
That's
to
all they're trained on. They're not trained on marketing. They're not trained on
comping.
what houses they should be sending where. Yeah, they're not trained on comping. They're told, put this address on this computer and print this page.
Yeah. It's awful. Every time it's awful.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So they're not trained on anything when it comes to investing in real estate. They're trained on how to write a contract and how to follow the laws within real estate within that state. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, people don't realize that because my wife just went through real estate training a year ago, because here in Virginia, you have to have a license now to assign more than 1 or 2 deals. So she went and got her license. And I'm
Okay.
looking at what she's learning. I'm like, she's like, how many feet are in an acre? Like, those are the things that they focus on learning. I'm like, what? You have Google.
I don't know. Yeah, it's Google.
Yeah, you
Let
really
me
don't have
ask
to.
ChatGPT real quick. I don't
Yeah.
fucking know. I know that it's 10,000 square feet, I think, is a quarter of an acre, maybe. So 40. I don't know. I don't even know
Yeah,
if
you don't
that's
even know
right.
how much acre is. Yeah, so, and like, I'm like, she learned things like that. And I asked her, like, all right, well, what did they teach you about comping? They didn't. What did they teach you about writing up the contracts? They didn't. It's just
Yeah.
things like that. She came into that training, or that real estate training, knowing way more than any agent that was going through that would ever know, because of
Yeah.
what we've done in general. And
She's
you'll
probably
be,
so confused when she was taking that exam. She was probably like, why do we need to know any of this? Like,
yeah.
what is the point of any of this information?
Right. It was ridiculous. And so, yeah. And so you have to understand, when you come out, it really, really depends on who you're working for as an agent. If your broker sucks and your broker doesn't take the time to really train you up, then you're going to suck. Yeah, you're going to suck. And so it really comes on that. So I think a lot of it, like you said, why should an agent work with a wholesaler? It's like, we know so many relationships with so many people about investors and how they buy, that agents would never know. And they'll reach out to us because they don't know how to get this thing sold. Or they might have one investor they work for, and if that investor doesn't have any more money to buy a property, or runs their numbers at a ridiculous price or whatever, and they can't get it sold, like, we have those people for them.
Yeah. I mean, we just know so much more than they do. We are trained so differently. Like, we really are the missing piece between the two. It's unfortunate they're cracking down on so many laws right now, because
Yeah.
they're really not seeing or noticing our value. But I blame it on those damn wholesalers we were just talking about that are doing the shady shit. Like, you guys are ruining everything for us.
No, it really is that. Yeah, and I tell
I'm
people,
gonna come kick you.
yeah, I tell agents, like, I get why you don't like wholesalers. I understand. I've ran into my fair share of
Honestly, I
crappy
don't do
people.
a lot of JVs with wholesalers I don't know for
That
those same
is a big
reasons.
issue. Yes, that is a big issue. And I put a post about this the other day. I was like, please, for the love of God, if you're doing wholesaling and you want to work on other people's deals, tell people who you are and what you're doing. Like the other wholesalers, tell them what you're doing. We had a deal that we got done, and this guy pretending he was a buyer gave us an offer and stuff like that. And
The same situation.
I didn't even like, we were just trying to get this deal sold because there was other wholesalers involved that come to us for help. And so we got it sold. Then he comes back like when we're working on the contracts and he says he's a customer relationship manager for this buyer. We're like, that's not true. We knew that. And so we're like, all right, well, his buyer apparently is good. And so we go through all this process. And what he doesn't do is he doesn't explain to the buyer the correct terms. And so the buyer decides they're going to use their own title company and they're going to do their own stuff. And their EMD is going to go to their own title company. And we find this all.
Were we talking to the same wholesaler? Because this is like literally the same thing that happened to me. This guy then turned around and told me he wants us to give him 10K.
Wow. No, he was making 10K off of this, so it might be the same person.
I think we were
Yeah.
talking to the same
Yeah.
person.
And look, we were making like $2,500 of the deal, which is not a big deal to us. Like I got it done for the other wholesalers who need money on this too. And so we're not making much. And this dude's coming with 10K. But then and I shouldn't have done this. I should have done it a better way, but I like lost it on him because I was like, all you had to do was tell me the truth and we would have got this done the right way. But now
Yeah.
you have to go back and you have to go and tell your buyers to stop doing what they're doing with their title company, move their stuff over to our title company. I'm not bending on this. And he's trying to like, well, they can just use that. I'm like, no, I'm not bending on this. They will be with our title company. And it was a big, shit show of what
Companies are like another topic we should talk about. Like that is like one of the biggest players in your business. They can
right.
completely fuck up your deal.
Oh my God, right. No, I got plenty of stories of that too. Yeah, let's go on another one. Yeah, no, we are definitely going to have an episode just about title companies probably at one point. Yeah.
We should bring a title agent on. Someone
Okay.
who's like done a lot of wholesale, who does a lot of wholesale deals.
Well, I have a good one over here. Her name is Maggie, and she's very good. But yeah, the JV with other people, especially with ones you haven't worked with before, it's such a big problem. And so
Problem.
there's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it too. I tell people when they're doing JVs that you really have to understand fully who that wholesaler is before you start going into things with them. Especially when you're bringing your buyers into the mix, like people you have relationships with, you have to know what's going on.
Yeah.
One of the big things is like, do you do highest and best? Because they will screw you over anytime they do highest and best. You can.
So if a wholesaler comes to me, I say we're splitting it even always. So if this is a fat ass daisy chain and we got 5 people, it's splitting even always 5 ways. Like I'm not doing this. I want 95. I want 10. I want no. What's your end buyer want to pay? Oh, he's paying 20K over. Okay, well that's 20K split 5 ways.
Yeah.
Like we're all getting an even split.
Nice.
You're not going, okay, I'll buy it from you for 95 and then I'm going to turn around and sell it for 105.
Yeah.
I'm not like, no.
Yeah, I hate
No.
that. And that honestly is probably ruined more relationships. I learned that quickly. I told my team this too. I was like, I'm not adding on top of your deal. Because if you sent this out to other people and they saw the same thing.
It looks terrible. I've
It looks
had
awful.
buyers come back and tell me, I saw it cheaper from so-and-so.
Yeah. And you look like a piece of shit. And you're like,
Yeah.
you look like you're just trying to, screw some, or, throw some extra money on top of a deal that.
It really messes up your relationship with buyers.
Yeah. I told my people I'm not doing that anymore. I'm like, I won't. And it's like, I find out where you put it at and what you're doing. And I'm like, I will not add on top. You got to work with me on what we can make on this deal. Because I'm going to talk to you about this before I even start to push this deal out.
I think that's something that needs to be talked about more too. Yeah, it's just relationship. That's a whole other episode we should do. It's relationships with other wholesalers.
Yes,
is just as important as your relationships with if you're working on market with agents, because these people are like a partner in the deal and they need to have an understanding of doing things right. That's why it's so hard to squat up, as Jamil always says, with wholesalers who are not previously trained by Jamil or Pace. Even the ones that are trained by Jerry or Brett, for some reason, the community that Jamil and Pace have built are more
relationship focused, I would say.
They're relationship focused, but I feel like good people.
Yeah.
For a lack of words, as these people know, like, let's not fuck over other people kind of thing. But I think that's because Pace and Jamil are so big on that as well.
Yeah, the group and the community that they build, they're really strict on who's in that community, who's not, and how quickly you can get kicked out for doing something you're not supposed to.
Yeah, if you're not doing something of ethic, quality, you're gone. And I think all these people who come from YouTube University, they don't have that kind of community that holds them accountable, which is kind of why I understand the whole NAR thing that's happening with real estate and wholesaling and how they want us to be our own NAR, basically someone who regulates us, because they're there are too many wholesalers out there doing unethical things that are making it harder for everyone else. And here we are, two wholesalers who do a lot of deals, make a lot of money, and we don't want to work with other wholesalers.
No, no, yeah, exactly. We understand what it's like.
That should
Yeah,
tell you something.
yeah. I know when people are like, I can't believe all this stuff that's happening with all these laws. I'm like, I can believe it.
Have you been doing deals with other wholesalers? Because I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah.
It sucks, but I can believe it, you know? And we're actually one of our markets in North Carolina, so we're kind of hold on the fence right now to see what's going to happen with this law they're going to pass with North Carolina, whether you have to be licensed or what you have to do from that. It was easy for us here in Virginia because we have our license, we live here, and what we're doing is it's natural for us to do that. No, so yeah, it's just it makes sense why you have to get licensed on stuff. Or the one in South Carolina, I don't know, but I feel like South Carolina you can't do deals at all. But I see people doing deals there all the time.
Is it South or North Carolina? Which one is the one that made it like basically impossible?
South Carolina. North Carolina is on the fence about whether you have to be licensed. They also talked about this law where basically if you're like going to assign it, that the seller can cancel at any point in the deal. Like
I've heard that they're trying to make that like nationwide. That
that's
they're
crazy.
trying to make the contracts favor. So one of the things that I get a rebuttal on a lot with new wholesalers is like, well, what if the seller wants to cancel? I'm like, they can't really cancel because the contract is favored more towards the buyer's side. It's always been like that. Any traditional real estate contract that's by NAR is favored more towards the buyer's side. So they really can't wiggle out as the seller, which we've always used to our advantage. If they switch it, I think that it's more fair.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't love it, but I understand it, and I think it's more fair, and I think it's something that they probably should do based on what's happening now. The other thing too that makes me think of is the new laws and rules that they're passing with memorandums. How that you can now there's so much like more paperwork with a memorandum. You can't just go and file it and then lock someone up, cloud their title. That there's so much more paperwork where it's like it sounds like it's going to take like a whole year process and a whole lot of attorney fees to make your memorandum stand.
So it's not even worth that at that point. Yeah, we done one memorandum. That's the only one we done. And this lady, yeah, the agent, and I don't like doing it in the first place. Really, whatever. Like it sucks if the sellers back out on this, and if they have a good reason why, then I'm letting them go. But if they're just trying to be a-holes about it, this agent at this one point she got us under contract and then was shopping it out to other buyers at the same time, and then I guess got another offer, and then decided she just started attacking us, like trying to act like we were unethical in what we were doing. Like, what are you talking about? Out of nowhere. And then that was her reason to try and cancel, to try and say that we were terrible.
So this, I've had that happen before, and this situations like that is what's made me learn that a majority of my conversations with agents are either email or text.
Right.
And that's why I do a lot of email and text, because when you have it in writing and you can present it to one NAR and their broker, then someone can help you hold them accountable in closing that contract with you, because agents do shady shit like that all the time. Like agents, there's shady wholesalers and there's shady agents.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, ours is recorded, except for in Florida, because that sucks about y'all's law here, where you have to make sure you tell everybody that's recorded before you do that. Yeah.
Yeah, California's like that too.
Yeah.
Do I always disclose? I don't know, but I can't use it in court if I didn't. So
Right. Yeah. So I told my rep that's down in Florida, I was like, all right, you have two options. You have to make sure you always on every single call tell them it's recorded, no matter what, and never forget that, or we just don't record. And so she we'll see which way she goes.
So I don't record and I don't tell them that. Well, I record, but I don't tell them it's recorded. But obviously I don't use it if I needed to use it in an argument. It's just the CRM automatically records. And so what I do is I reiterate everything we said in an email or a text message, and I have them acknowledge. So then it's like in writing as well. So I'll take like the transcript, turn it into a little paragraph, and then you have it in writing. That's how you get around that.
Smart.
But yeah, same. Yeah.
I'm doing the same
but
thing.
Everything I learned that I think that was like back when I first started, because I had an agent who did that to me, and I was like, I think I got screwed on that deal. That's when I learned to stop putting in EMDs as well. I don't put EMD in for any of my properties. That's why I cancel so quick, because I usually have like a 3 to 5 day EMD timeline with all my contracts. So I have 3 to 5 days to get EMD in, and then I usually have like a 7 to 10 day inspection period.
Gotcha.
So in my 3 to 5 days, I'm finding a buyer. Then if I don't find a buyer and they don't put EMD in within that timeline, then I cancel. But I don't ever put EMD in anymore, because I think it was like a situation like that. I ended up losing like $4,000 in EMD. And that was like one of my first ever experiences in wholesaling. And I was like, guard for life, trauma.
Not doing that again. Yeah, no, we put an EMD. We have, with our title company, we have an escrow account, and we have $5 or so grand just sitting in there. And so they just automatically move it over to it whenever that does. So we just do that just to make it easier because we got so much pushback from agents. And normally we could negotiate it, but I was like, I don't want to negotiate every single time. Like whatever, it's
No.
just there. Just do the right thing, you know. And if I hold this past our inspection period and I have to cancel, like I owe that seller money.
Yeah, no, you should never hold long. If you didn't get your due diligence done within the inspection period, and the due diligence is one, looking at the property, getting your property pictures, and making sure that you had buyers interested. If you didn't do that within your 7 to 10 days, then you weren't working hard enough. And you were just dilly-daddling and flicking beans like we were talking about earlier. And you should lose your money.
Yeah. No, yeah. A couple situations where like buyers are like on the hook and they're like yes and they're gonna do it, or they back out on me before they happen to put their EMD in, which sucks.
Yeah.
Things like that have happened, and if that's the case, I'm like, all right, well, look, you seller, you're owed this money. Like, take it. It sucks that I have to lose this money, and we're gonna fix our situation on the back end so it doesn't happen again. But it happens, you know. So
Yeah.
we just don't fight that. There's a few things that we care to fight anymore, and a few things we don't. And one of the things that killed me, I don't know if they
Some
do this in Florida.
battles you just have to lose, like the one where you didn't make any money. Like I've had plenty of those too. Some of them you just, and this goes back to just being a quality fucking person, doing quality business, guys. Just be a good person.
Exactly. It's not that hard, really.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, so one of the things I don't fight anymore, sometimes here and there, is like, do you guys in Florida have these $300 or $400, sometimes $700 transaction fees? Not transaction coordinators, but agents add this
Like
on.
the broker fee.
Yes.
Yeah. I always tell them that they have to waive it.
Yes.
None of my buyers will pay for it.
None of my buyers will either, so we have to eat it. And I feel terrible sometimes because what the brokers do is they force it out of the agent, and like that hurts the
Oh, they
relationship.
do?
Yes.
I didn't even know that. I just tell them I won't pay.
Yeah. So
I
I
tell them in
fought
the
it.
beginning when we're signing the contract, because usually it's disclosed in the contract. And I'll tell them, I'll like put a big circle around it, take a screenshot and send it to them. I'm like, I'm not paying this.
Yes. Yeah, we fought it a bunch, and we do. Like again, it's just like these agents get it pulled out of their commission, and I want to carry a long-term relationship with them, and so every once in a while, if it's a good agent, I just won't say nothing. We'll pay it, and then I'll be like, hey, next deal, I'm not paying that. Like I paid it this time, no, I'm not paying it again. You know, I will make that.
They should fight that with their broker, because their broker already takes like what 20% of every transaction.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, what are y'all
It
doing? Like
should already be covered under that.
I would be fighting.
And
I would be
nickel and
fighting.
diamond people, come on.
I know. I
Be
would be
good
fighting that.
people.
Yeah, my wife with the agency, she's under the broker, which is one of our friends, my dad's friend who has a broker's license just because. He's like, I don't care. Just do whatever you want to. It's 100% commission. I'm not taking anything. Just take it. And so
Yeah.
that's an ideal situation for us. And I think about these agents who get screwed over by the brokers. Like, why would you stay there? I would be out.
But that's the thing. Yeah, they just need to stop. And I don't know what these agents do and why they do it, what they do. But if they put up more of a fight and had more of a standard of like, I'm not going to deal with this, those brokerages wouldn't even be in business.
Right. So when you're working with agents, do you tell them you're wholesaling?
No.
Yeah.
I've never done that. I know that there's a lot of people who say that you should, but I've always, like, I own 500 properties. So I am an investor. I've done over 300 deals, and in those, I don't even know how many have been actual assignments and how many haven't. Like, I've learned so much and so many different ways on how to get around things when you need to. My favorite one is always double close of the pass through, because that's basically an assignment where they take the money from the buyer, pass it through the contracts, pay the in, and come back. Like, it's basically an assignment. But I do have to pay the closing costs on my side that closes. So that's the only part that sucks, is that I do end up giving up some of my assignment for that. The only reason people do assignments is because it's the most
simple, easy way.
Well, not just simple, but I can't think of the word that I'm trying to think of right now. Not cost effective. It is the most cost effective. You get the most money out of it because you don't have to pay any fees to close or anything like that. So I don't know. I forgot where we were going with that. Sorry.
No, you're good. I don't necessarily tell people either. We bought properties also, so we're investors. But when at the beginning of it, when you're fighting, I mean, obviously, we want to make sure you do everything ethical and you do things the right way. And so that way, if you're going around lying to people and then screwing people over on top of that, I mean, no, you're not doing the right thing. We're telling people, we're investors. We do have investment strategy. We do have exit strategies. I've always had the ability to buy properties. I mean, I know enough hard money lenders and people I've talked to in the industry that we could have bought anything that we wanted to. Yeah, it's hard when you're first getting started, especially because of the negative connotation towards wholesale.
Yeah, it is. And with the stuff that people are learning now, do I feel like maybe people should tell? This is kind of where I'm not sure. Like, do I feel like you should tell people that you're a wholesaler? Yeah, if you have bad intentions. But are you ever going to admit that you're a person with bad intentions?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so it's like, do we just start telling everybody that they need to tell people they're wholesalers?
Yeah, well, there's other ways you do it, I guess. And people say like, "Oh, I work with a network of buyers. I am the person, the acquisition person for all of the thousands of buyers in our area." There's other ways you can you can do it without saying I'm a wholesaler.
I think one of the strategies that I use that I posted on my TikTok is a call where the agent had asked me, "Are you planning to assign this?" Or no, she said, "Are you a wholesaler?" And I said, "Are you asking if I'm planning to assign the contract?"
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, I do want you to put on there that I can assign the contract without release of liability," which I always tell everyone that ever learns under me. You need to hold yourself responsible to some degree. So you asking them to make it assignable without and releasing you without any liability is just you saying like,
Yeah, I can do
if
whatever
you
I
get
want.
fucked, you get fucked, and not
Yeah,
my
yeah,
problem. Like, no, you need to hold yourself accountable. You are putting these people in a situation
right.
where they have to pack up their house and stuff. So I do tell them, like, are you asking if I'm going to wholesale? And they say, yeah. And I go, well, wholesale is like assigning or are you asking if I'm going to assign the contract? They say, yeah. I say, well, assigning a contract is one of many methods that I do. It depends on what's going to make me the most money. So do I want you to make the contract assignable? Yeah. But you could put on there that without release of liability. So I'm still liable for the contract. And they usually go, okay, great. And then on that contract, that's where she goes, oh, okay, cool, great, perfect. They're usually like okay with that if you're saying like you can still hold me accountable for
Hmm.
anything that goes wrong.
Yeah, and Florida they make it easy like that on the contract, especially the MLS
Mm-hmm.
contract, because they give you the three little check boxes you got to do.
Yeah, they stopped doing that in Vegas. Vegas used to have it like that too. They don't have it like that anymore. Now it just says not assignable, and then you have to put in the additional remarks. I have a whole like freaking paragraph that says buyer intends to purchase property for profit.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, here in Virginia and North Carolina, we just make sure that we say like and/or designated entity on our buyer's name, and that covers us for North Carolina because North Carolina they're very weird about it, where agents like can't make a single change to the contract. Like you can't exit stuff out, or you have to leave the contract alone in North Carolina because it was done by the attorney commission or whatever it was, and that attorney has to do addendums and they have to do everything onto it to make the
Yeah,
changes.
I do everything as addendums. I don't have them cross anything out on the original.
Yeah.
I make everything as an addendum.
In Virginia, we tell them straight up. There's a section 21 in Virginia where it says like it's not assignable unless written notice is supplied to the
Yep.
seller and they sign off on it, and we like strike that out. Yeah, I just tell them straight up like take that section out, and then we're
Strike it out.
yeah. But you would be surprised how many agents like I can't do that. I'm like yes you can. We know you can do it.
I always just tell them. So so there'll be plenty of times when I do this a lot. So tisk me, but there'll be plenty of times that I sign a contract and it's not assignable, and then I'll tell them write up an addendum saying that buyer intends to purchase property for profit, may sign, may fix and flip, may buy and hold, may blah blah. Seller acknowledges and agrees, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a way to do it too, and they say that you can't be assigned. I mean, if you go to them and you're like, you assign the contract to a buyer, and you're ready to go, and you go to them and say, hey, everything's still going to be the same. We assigned it over to this entity over here. Everything's still good. Do you mind if you sign off with it? All right. Then most of the time they're
Yep.
okay. They're like, all right, as long as the contract's
Usually
being
they say
followed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, they say no. I just double close.
Yeah. Like, all right, cool. Then never mind then.
Well, I guess I just got to pay a little bit extra money because I fucked up.
Yeah. Oh well.
My fault. All right.
Yeah. Either way. Okay. So we've been we're on here for an hour and 20 minutes, which is great. We've just been rolling. We have plenty of episodes coming up here soon. We're gonna invite so many different people onto this podcast. Other wholesalers that are doing really well. We have people lined up who are doing ads and marketing for wholesalers, mindset, entrepreneurship, everything on this podcast. We're looking to bring in. Obviously the center of it will be real estate, but for the most part, it's gonna be everything that we want to bring on here. So, is there anything you want to say in the close of this first episode?
I'm excited for what's coming, guys. So stay tuned. We do have lots of big plans and big ideas for what's coming, and it is mainly about real estate because that's the vehicle that's helped us get to where we are and made us all our money. But there's so much more behind just entrepreneurship in general with mindset and other things that we want to bring other people on. And there's always things changing in the industry and in business, and so there's always new ways to do new things like AI.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome.
So more to come.
Yeah. So if you guys got anything from this or want to check out our new episodes that come out, please like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the bell icon. We'll drop these we'll figure out when we're going to drop these and we'll let you guys know when we'll drop it, what day we will. But yeah, please, we have so much more to come. Please comment. Let us know what you guys want to see on this podcast too, because we want to get more ideas from you guys. If you have deals you want to talk about, questions you want answered, you have the greatest wholesaler in the world over here, Eva, who can answer all these questions for you.
I don't know about the greatest, but I'll try my best.
We can answer as many questions as you guys want to, and that can be, part of our goal here is to help out as many people also. So thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it.